Here we are today. Let's talk about Exodus. Man, oh man, this is up there with Paul. One of the roughest, ugliest, trudge through the mud, stupidest chapters of the Bible, keep you entrenched in the violence, fake, nonsensical violence of this place. Um, I don't believe, I don't believe in this. I okay, Thus, okay, we'll leave it. Okay, thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hands of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. I think, in essence, you get the picture from that microcosm. The Egyptians were a people, supposed, that had enslaved the Israelites to their Pharaoh, and you're living under the rule of quote unquote man. Probably a free Martin. Like some Baphomet invert that is so into themselves and spreading their nonsense and not doing any work at all, and having everybody gush over them and bow to their utter disgusting behavior, that they won't even let their slaves go when they see multiple instances of God Almighty, the Force, the the essence of of life in all creation, show them time and again that it's going to get worse. There's going to be famine. There's going to be blight upon blight and infestation of frogs and locusts and so forth. That's all fine. That's a fine picture to paint about the idea of worldly power and how it means nothing, and that really it's God that chooses what happens, and these evil satanic powers, they they're really fake, and truthfully these people get caught up in indulgences and they're healthfully weak. They aren't healthy. They're actually disgusting, ugly, lonely people. Everybody in my life that's acted like a narcissist, invert, trans person, they are like this. They're self-centered. No one really likes them deep down because they're not nice to anybody, and their behavior is so blatant. They have the thinnest sugar coating over the top, but they can't handle not being the center of attention or not in control. And you have this example led through Pharaoh. And I think that part's fine. Now, where Exodus is clearly satanic tripe, drivel, is, did you guys see this coming? Is it really that hard to see? Ever since I was little and I had the slightest the slightest idea of what Exodus was, I knew this was pure evil, satanic dog shit. And what do you know? Who creates it? The synagogue of Satan, the Torah. What do you think? Who are the evil doers that are surrounding us and constantly making in jokes? They may be intelligent. That's not into question. It's your spiritual. It's how you feel spiritually. It's how you treat other people. And if you think that your people are the only people and the best people, guess what? You're wrong. It's about treating people with dignity and respect and being conscientious and loving, and they are the least of that. They only care about themselves, and they got this whole fake sham going on. People in masks. I guarantee people, that's why you're dealing with a lot of the time when you go out into public and you're not one of them. Oftentimes you're dealing with a mask. You're dealing with a fake person that's just playing jokes on you, playing games on you, because that's how they are. They're of their father. They don't know how to be kind. They don't know how to be genuine. And this is nonsense. In the Torah, and as in the Bible, which is basically the baby Torah, it's the Torah for babies. The Israelites smeared lamb's blood on their doorposts as a sign to God to pass over their homes when he killed the firstborn of the Egyptians. No, God would know everybody's heart, knows every hair on your head. So this doesn't add up. This is tripe. Obvious. You don't need to, and then the imagery of the lamb, when later on Jesus talks about us as lambs and Jesus is God. So it's another Pauline contradiction. Paul says everything the opposite of Jesus. Very obvious snake. It's disgusting to read Paul. It's disgusting to read this in Exodus. It's disgusting. This is not true. There's no way. My God does not, no way. The God that led me to stop eating animals, to be kind and to do what I always knew was right. I always hated eating animals. I grew up eating sausage and meatballs, very Italian foods as far as I'm told. And I always had to stomach it. It was chicken, pig being, now I know, the human boar hybrid. That video's coming. It's just hellish. It's hellish what we live in. And you can't believe people are that gullible to believe this. The only reason people believe this is because of herd immunity. They just think, oh, it's in the book, it's gotta be. Can't go changing what's already there, already more than it already has. It's just, you find yourself, you gotta critique it. You gotta critique the whole Bible. How can you not? If you're not critiquing the whole Bible, or not critiquing some parts of the Bible, I don't know what you're doing. You just believe what it's given to you by these evil people with all their hand signs and symbols and their society and orange everywhere and fake KKK and literally every man you see out there is this Free Martin or just outright a woman putting a sock in their pants. And C-sections are for them because they have a fake hyena penis and so forth. You think that this is legitimate when it's written and checked off by them? No, this is black magic 101. God wanted you to kill a lamb, one of the kindest animals you'll find out there that wouldn't harm a fly, eats grass, grazes on fruit and vegetables. It's satanic tripe. It's evil. Not for a second did I believe this stuff. I just held back on this. I don't know why I held back on this, because it's such an obvious satanic editing that they did. Because this is fine. I don't have a problem with this. People that see God, people that are just following the powers that be, that's fine. Follow all the things in the media, think all the media is true, just believe everything that the rulers tell them. Oh, the rulers are so great. Never for once question what the rulers say or pretend it's okay even though they know it's fake, which I think is most people. They pretend everything's okay even though they know it's all fake. Guess what? You can't see. You don't get clearance. I don't understand. If you're truthful and honest, God gives you clearance. That's obvious. You get more powers. That's just, they think their money gives them the powers, but then they become indulgent slobs and they just lord over everything. They get all their little shiny things, and they're so removed from plants and nature. Man, every single big Satanist I've ever met is so far removed from plants and nature, or if they aren't, they just view it as like this separate thing, and they're above it. It's always the humans are above everything, and that's what a Satanist was when they're just valuing the humans above everything. They treat every other animal like it's lesser than, doesn't have a soul. Bible has lots of that information in it, where it treats animals like they're less than, and they're not. And I'll push that till the day I die. That is one of the biggest, just outright lies. Every creature is brilliant and beautiful, in so much that it's not a lying Satanist. I mean, they've tarnished the reputation of just beautiful animals like owls and wolves and goats. Goats, I mean, in of themselves, is there malice in goats? Maybe sometimes, but to just downcast a whole animal for the sake of illustrating a point, fine. Goats and sheep, but the essence of that being, if you present a goat with animal flesh, guess what? It's going to eat it, because goats eat freaking everything. If you present a sheep with that, no. So then you put this nonsense in there, and you freak everybody out. You freak anybody who's a good, nice person out. And if you're not, and I think if you're eating animals, you're going to have parasites in your brain. We're not supposed to eat animals. Our teeth, our gastrointestinal tract, compare it to other animals. Man, we're not monkeys. We don't have the sharp canines of some of these monkeys out. No, we are like lamb. We are like sheep. We are like cows. We chew, masticate. We don't just chomp chomp down the hatch. Carnivorous. You don't jump on a jump on a pig and eat it. No, you got to have somebody process it for you, or you have to kill it yourself. I could never kill an animal. I've never killed a mammal in my life. I've killed flies. I've killed mosquitoes. I've eaten a worm even. I've eaten a couple worms in my life when I was little. It doesn't matter. But maybe God actually probably does matter. How should I say that? Every creature. Why am I eating a worm? That's not my place. I shouldn't be eating a worm. I should be eating fruits and vegetables. I was confused back then eating animals, so I ate a worm. I ate an ant. I just did it just to do it. It was unpleasant. It was gross, but I did it when I was young. I just had to try. I don't know. Had shellfish. I heard story about how the Jews don't eat shellfish, but then I just thought of the Jews as being this like weird thing. I was just like, why are people like in these groups, and I don't want to be part of a group. Like that was my essence as a child. I don't want to be part of this like a fake stupid religious group where they all my people, these people, oh we go to church and oh we're so special. Most people that go to church they can't stop talking about it. They'll gloat about it. Guess what? Your church is fake. It's satanic. It's got the cross in the front. That's representative of Jesus' death. If you wanted to represent Jesus well, you'd do the sepulcher. And he's alive. He doesn't die. He's God. So obvious. And Exodus is dog shit. So I can't. I don't know. It's such an obvious thing. This is like I knew this when I was young. It's written into you. You know the truth if you. I didn't know the truth as well when I was sinning so badly in like my teen years. I wasn't sinning bad in my early youth, and I wasn't sinning bad in my adult. I sinned in my teen years. It was obvious, experimental, stupid stuff that was just around drinking alcohol. Alcohol's disgusting. Just acting like a hedonistic loser, and I felt like one. And I had awful days I would never want to go back to. And thank God I don't have to because I can see where I erred, and it was obvious where I erred. And this is clear to me. And I'm not saying I have amazing clearance. This is just stop eating flesh, stop drinking alcohol. And I haven't had cannabis since it seems like about a month. I haven't counted the exact days. I'm not that kind of, I don't even miss it. I love all the dreams I've been having. It's just, it's a medicine that is easily abused, and I abused it. And I know this is turning into a bit of a rant, but I just had to get this off my chest. Exodus is this part, especially like I said, this is fine to illustrate this concept. People that value God, the Almighty, it's unseen, it's invisible, but it's a moral code. It's a moral, truthful code. If God is living inside of us, the Holy Ghost is living inside of us, then you're going to feel this if you murder somebody, guess what? You're going to have dreams of doing that over and over and over again. That just makes sense. It's logical. You're going to be haunted. You're going to have scary feelings. What do you think so much of the ghostly evil activity is? People that sin, they have dark shit happen to them. Obvious. It's just, water is wet. You're going to be hit with things that are heavy if you do evil things. And if you do good things, I think you get clearance. I think you get beauty. You're rewarded openly. And this, here's my reward. I'll keep going with it. Exodus is garbage. Drop it. This part of Exodus is garbage. This is garbage. Each Hebrew family selected a lamb and set it aside like it's a fucking object. Like it means nothing. Has no soul. I can just use it for whatever I want. And then people will say, oh, well, birds eat the worms. They don't care. Oh, well, wolves eat the lamb. Oh, wolves eat lambs. That's what they do. Look at your GI tract. Look at your teeth. You're not a wolf. Try eating a squirrel. Go for it. Without killing it. Without shooting it. It is amazing that people eat animals. It blows my mind that people eat animals. But when you're surrounded by quote unquote goats, evil people that eat anything, that's it. People that are confused. That's it. It's the line that I draw. Am I going to face a lot of heat I don't care. Sure. Yeah, I'll face heat. I'll face heat my whole life for this. I guarantee. But in essence, I don't care. I'm going to eat my fruit. I'm going to eat my veg. I'm going to feel healthy. I'm going to be out there working hard in the field, doing, providing food for people, providing healthy food for people. Because when you go to food banks, they have shit, generic crap that's GMO. And I've been to food banks. I went to one in Camp Verde, Arizona. Disgusting. Everything was, all the bread was past due, was expired, crusty, ugly, just not bread. Not like healthy, not nutritious bread in the slightest. Mere, and bread is nothing. Bread in circuses is obviously that's known, but I'm kind of rambling a bit here. It's just disgusting. On the night of their deliverance, the Israelites slaughtered the lamb, roasted it, and ate it. I cannot. Satan is bloodshed. Any bloodshed is Satan. That's it. If you don't see that, if you don't see that any bloodshed is Satan, I'm not your brother. I'm not. If you can see that, if you can see any bloodshed, Saint Nick, Santa, we're about to get into that shitty nonsense. How bad Santa Claus is. Man, I've been going off with my daughter. She can feel it. She loves the energy. It's good to talk crap about how nonsensical Santa Claus is. This big fat pedo, children on the lap, killing a tree for no reason, dressing it up like it's something special. That's what Satan does. Just robots and fake shit, and it's like anything but life. Anything but good life. Ignore the trees, ignore the amazing life going on, ignore the interesting bugs and interesting mammals and interesting curious things they do, and pretend they're not intelligent and pretend they're all below you. You don't think Satan's been editing this Bible forever? But even still, guess what? It's written within you. The true children, the true, I don't want to seem special, but just people that are kind-hearted, people that can tell A from B, can see that's a dark, evil thing and that's a good thing. Guess what? That's it. People that like evil things and are disgusting and just like horror movies and gushing blood and satanic dark video games, Grand Theft Auto, Dragon Ball Z, all this evil shit, Pokemon. Can't see how bad it is. I don't know what to tell. It's a life thing. You have to make decisions. It may be harrowing at first when you're like, man, when I go to the grocery store, every magazine's full of teas, and everything that they sell is just this dark shit. Pretty much. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's good art out there. There's good, life-affirming, wonderful things out there. But it's the broad way to destruction. So big things that they push, boy, oh boy, watch out for it. So the Bible, well, they push that harder than everything. That's corrupted, heavily corrupted. I can't believe RFTK Ohio. I believed that for a second that he was like, the KJV is like not corrupted. They just gave it to you as is. Dude, there is no way. With Paul in there, with maybe you could give you the Paul, like you got to read through Paul, you got to understand Paul and how Paul is opposite and just know it. And Jesus did say, don't trust the man in the desert. Okay, fair enough. I'll give you Paul. But Exodus with this part, you just say that's fine. You sign off on that. Dude, you're not my family. If you think that, I'm not hanging out with some violent freak who eats animals anymore. I don't like it. It's gross. I'm done with it. Exodus is gross. This is such a gross thing. I can't believe people believe it. This is clear brainwashing. You don't think it's not just TV, it's in all the books. They do it all the time. Planet, blood smear. Dipped a bunch of hyssop in the lamb's blood and smeared it on the lintel and 2 doorposts. It's gross to read this. And they can't leave their house until morning, and God passes through his carnal ass self. Oh, they've got the blood. That means they're good. That's Satan, dude. That's Satan. Satan is any bloodshed. That's Satan. Any sort of pain that Satan can cause. That's Satan. Satan is that. Satan just means oppressor. So anything, I always think about it. The days that I've spent at dead end jobs that I was basically forced into by T's. I worked for this place called Resource Options. RO. R is 18, O is 15, 33. And what we did was did COVID cleanup, It's just fake. And everybody there is a T. They're throwing gang signs the whole time. It was basically prison. I feel like I've talked about this before. I could tell what was going on the entire time. I knew that these were sharks, and I was in a shark's water the whole time. Given drugs, given alcohol, given pot the whole time. And I was a little bit scared, and I did smoke pot. I wasn't completely pure through the whole thing. No, I'm not. I wasn't perfect. I'm not going to sit here and... No. But I could see the darkness. I could see the evil. I could see the hand signs. I could see the tongue sticking out. I could see these people that didn't care about me, hated me, talk shit behind my back. I can see this is bullshit. Exodus, this part is satanic tripe. And I could dig deeper, but this is the one that sticks out. This is the evil nonsense that, oh, God wants you to do sacrifice. This for me was is just as traumatic as the Isaac and David crap. Where David takes, what I'm talking about. Everybody knows this shit. David takes Isaac up and basically ties him down, about to kill him. And then God's like, hold up, I just needed to see your faith. That is Satan too. Guess what? That's Satan too. All that nonsense trauma bonding crap, that's Satan. That's what the Bible is. The Bible is a lot of trauma bonding. I'll say it right. It's trauma bonding. What do they do when you're born? For most people, what do they do? In a hospital, white lights, smack you, covered in masks, makes you feel like you're in some weird alien world. You don't belong. No, you know what? We did that by accident. We didn't want to do that shit. It was an accident to trust this system at all. We went to midwives the first child. They failed us. They didn't come out. I talked about this. It's just my life, though. I got to talk about it. And then I called my non-mom, and she picked up my partner, and they went to the hospital when she's having it. My partner said she was due, and she was. It was early. It was like 5 weeks early, but it's on their clock. Their whole clock is wrong. They tell you 2 weeks before you have the moment. I inseminated my wife. That's the natural thing. The guest speaker is just honestly, I stuck my throbbing cock into my wife, and it was beautiful. It was life being created.